Hello and welcome to episode 208 of the Daily Sales Message, where every single day I share a piece of simple and actionable advice that's designed to help you feel more confident and sell more stuff too. If you're new around here, my name is James Newell and I teach people how to sell, and I talk very, very quickly as I do it. I believe there's two real main components. There's lots of components we need to sell, but two main components that we need to sell effectively. The first one is a clear sales message. People have to understand exactly what you're trying to sell to them. So how do you communicate that to them? And secondly is selling confidence. That's the behavioral side of things, how to be relaxed and comfortable and confident in a selling situation. In today's episode of the Daily Sales Message, we're talking about what you're made of. What are you made of? And this doesn't only just pertain to products, it can pertain to services too. But it's talking about what goes into something. So we've seen products before, 100% this, 0% that, made in this way, made from this stuff. Sometimes they'll talk about what the constituent parts of something is, particularly if they're worthy of note. You know, it's 100% sustainable cotton and blah, blah, blah. So talk about what they're made of. This can also be true for services, but we have to tweak it slightly. So when we're talking about what your services are made of, we have to talk about the people that you employ and that you work with, the processes and the methodologies that they follow, and how they do what they do. So it's a little bit of behind the scenes stuff. But if we talk about what goes in to the service that you provide, processes, how it's done, people, qualifications if appropriate, anything else that's going to lift the lid, lift the curtain for me, shine a light on, so that's how it's done. Without giving the game away, we don't want to give away all of the magic, but if you can explain a little bit about behind the scenes, what you're made of, what goes into your offering, it's very much well received by buyers. It's educational to them, it's interesting, and it can help them to make a much more informed decision about whether or not to go ahead with you. So from this episode, I really want you to think about, what are you made of? What goes into your product? What goes into your service? And are you / how could you talk about that and educate people as to what you're truly made of? Right, that's it for this episode of the Daily Sales Message. Tomorrow in episode 209, going to talk about intuition. Intuition, when things happen. Because there's something that happened to me, there's a story that I have, and I acted on my intuition in a selling situation. It served me very well. And since then, I've had a phrase which I use as a mantra myself to make sure I don't make the same mistake again. Tune in tomorrow for that. In the meantime, if you haven't already, please click the like or subscribe button around wherever you're listening to this, whether you're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, wherever you are. If you could interact in some way with a comment or a like or a share, be greatly appreciated, as it helps us meet more people like you and share our free advice, tips and content to help them feel more confident and sell more stuff. That's it for this episode. Thank you for listening or watching all the way to the end. I do appreciate it. I'll catch you tomorrow for another edition of the Daily Sales Message.